What's up, guys? Today I am going to, talk about a couple things that I mentioned in an earlier video that I need to take care of with the car. A lot of stuff I need to tidy up just to make sure I don't have something stupid go down at the track, which I'm probably going to have something stupid go down at the track anyways. But regardless, first thing I want to talk about are the lug nuts. I had mentioned that when I took the car to the dyno, we had a little problems getting these lug nuts off. Now these are aluminum lug nuts, Amazon specials. I don't know if you can really see that. Let me kind of get a little closer there. You can kind of see how it's shiny in there. Well, basically what's happening is they don't really handle the torque all that well. And now I've had these on a couple different cars, and since I had them, I was going to reuse them on the E46. But it already looks like the threads on inside are kind of, I don't know if it's really focusing there, but the threads are kind of getting chewed up already, kind of starting to strip out. So basically, after talking with Sam, he was saying they had problems with these aluminum lug nuts, especially these cheaper ones, that they basically strip out because we're using like big Ugga-Duggas or something like this to torque them on, and it's just too much for those aluminum threads. So what happens is they get all nasty and start to strip out. So then when you put them on, you can't get the wheel off. So what I did, because I'm definitely going to be using that whenever I change my wheels at the track, I just bought some steel lugs. So tonight I'm going to take these all off and I'm going to go put these in. These are cheap. I think it was like 40 bucks or something for these. The Gorilla brand, I think, on Amazon. Comes with a little key, but I don't know, I'm kind of a sucker for the fake burnt titanium stuff, so that's what I wanted. The point of this conversation was to show you that, or warn you, if you're using these aluminum lug nuts, stop using them. Unless you're just going to car shows or whatnot and you're torquing them on by hand, then that probably would work. But as many times as we take the wheels on and off, this is going to be a problem. So one less thing I should have to worry about at the track. So I'm going to put those in. So now you get that done. Another thing that I talked about in one of my last videos, my recent videos, was about the rear sway bar end links. They weren't quite long enough, and it's really has to do with those axles, the drive shaft shop axles that I had to use for the 8.8 version, and it limits the space. So you change something and other clearances become an issue. Anyhow, these were the factory ones, as I'm going to show you in a minute what exactly I put in there, and I was able to extend them just a little bit, but you're going to see it's still tight clearance. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. And next, after talking with Sam, and I think I mentioned this in the previous video, I've been running X85, or planning to run X85, which can get kind of pricey. At my horsepower level, probably not really all that necessary. And Sam had mentioned a couple gas stations that he knows of that run E85, and they got a pretty consistent content. I just want to be sure. So I went online and I'm saying there's got to be a way to test E85 content at the gas pump. So it was like 10 bucks, and you basically get, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't. I didn't know it, but whatever. These are basically ethanol testing. And what you do is you have a water fill line, and then you fill it up with, I'm assuming, distilled water or whatever. And then I got these because they have a wider nozzle on the top. And then basically what you do is you fill the rest up with the E85 at the pump. You shake it, and then you let it sit for 5 minutes. So it's a step one. Let me get a little closer here. Basically says step one, fill the bottle with water to the blue line. Step two, pour the gasoline up to the top gas fill line. 3, put on the screw cap, obviously, and tighten, shake, and let stand for 5 minutes, standing upright. And then depending on your 85 content, like how much ethanol is in that fuel, it'll kind of shows like a yellowish tint. So you'll see a color differential between the two, and that gives you an idea how much E85 is in there. Since I'm going to be trying to save a little money and running a pump E85, I figured I might as well test it. This was like 10 bucks and it came with 3 bottles. So, you know, I'll put it in the truck, keep one in the truck. Maybe I'll keep one in the toolbox or something just in case I lose it. But yeah, so at least I'll get an idea, the quality, I guess, of E85 or the percentage of E85 that I'm going to be getting from the pump. So that's important. And lastly, and I'm going to take you off of here for a second. Next, and this is probably something that is really just me being picky, but that's what we do. This connector here goes to my idle air control valve, which is right there, and then of course routes to the other side of the throttle body. So it goes in here. I got a stepper motor idle control valve. You know, from there goes down and over here. Well, this kind of bugs me. I know it's stupid. I probably shouldn't even waste money on it, but it just kind of bugs me. So I'm going to replace it with a 60 degree. So that should make it run with all the other hoses. And I got a bunch of hoses here. I got my power steering. Here, I have my power steering cooler, my oil cooler, and then my radiator. So there's a whole lot of hoses going on here. You know, kind of like Ludacris. I got hose all over the place. And I don't know. Maybe it's me, it just kind of peaks out a little bit. It's just a little annoying. So, of course, Evil Energy, Amazon special. Gonna go right there, and that should kind of make it flow with everything else. I'm going to take you underneath the back of the car and show you what I was talking about with the end links. Actually, let me grab an end link here real quick. So this was the factory end link. Again, a little short. You probably saw in the video what was happening. And I'm going to... Oh, I need a battery. Battery would be helpful for my light. Okay. All right, let me turn this around. All right. Let's get underneath the car here. Okay. So let's get some light in here. I already have the new end links on there. That's it right there. So I was able to adjust that, and that was allowing me to increase the distance between the boot, giving myself a little space there between the boot and the sway bar. As you can see, it's kind of already too late. I don't know. Am I going to pull that axle boot off and replace it before my first event? No. Should I? Probably. I just don't feel like doing it. I'm going to try to get my first couple shakedowns of the car done and kind of go from there. But as you can see, it's fine on the other side. The other side has got plenty of clearance. Don't really have any issues with the other side. Plenty of room there. It's just the driver's side that was just really tight, but still pretty close. But I do have enough space and shouldn't be a problem. Well, I'll get around to that sooner or later, I'm sure. Yeah, change that fitting on the idle air control hose, just so it cleans up, flows a little better. I mean, like I said, it's functionality wise, it makes no difference, but just aesthetically, I didn't like the way it looked. And I already did adjust these end links, so that's done. And I'm gonna replace the lug nuts. And that's it for tonight. I'm gonna come out with another video probably over this weekend talking about some of the things that during the build of this car that were, I don't know, I really gotta thank God that some of the stuff that happened didn't affect the engine and that the engine's really healthy. So I'm extremely thankful for that. Other than that, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and
I will release another video probably the end of this week or over the weekend. All right. Thanks, guys.